That was the sound of the jar of names. And this podcast is for everyone, including but not excluded to... I have a name. A Box of Kittens 77. Right, back in the jar of names you go. And if you want to get in the jar of names, keep posting comments on the Cup of Adventure videos. There we go. It's closed. Right, welcome to A Cup of Tea podcast, episode 78. Not quite 98. This is the Cup of Tea. And this is the podcast. Right, so first things first, welcome to January. It is hopefully going to be another good month. We're 1 month down of 12, 11 left for this year. That's very depressing, actually. I'm going to carry on going. So if you want to skip ahead in this episode, you can skip to this week's update, this week's topic, this week's book club, this week's anime club, this week's app addiction, and this week's goals of the week as well. Right, let's go on to topic. So, what do we have to talk about today? That should be update, actually. Okay, we'll go on to update instead first. Update. So what have we got to update you on? Not a lot. There was a gap of no uploads or anything. I think it was Thursday and Friday. That was because, unfortunately, my internet was playing up. I don't know what was wrong with it. It was just messing around, not doing anything. So it sucked. But it's got sorted out on Saturday, so that's when I started to upload again. So if you're wondering what that gap was, that was why. Anything else happening? I don't think there is anything else that's interesting. To quickly go through the top of my head, nothing. That's it, actually. An update is this week on Wednesday. I am not working, so I've got the evening free, which is always a bonus. So that might affect videos, it might not, as in good affecting, as I might do some stuff, like might actually complete some goals. I said about last week about completing an assignment. I sort of completed it. All of the hard stuff's done. I've just got to do one more. I've just got an evaluation. The evaluation got a extension, which means I'll be doing that. But everything else is done, so that's pretty much good. My workload has now been depleted, which means I can actually do stuff, he says. Like, again, though, never happens. Okay, so what else can we talk about? It's topic now, then. Video names. Let me open up my thing, which I haven't done again. I always forget. That's Harvest Moon for a start. That's Dark Cloud. I don't have a folder open. I'm going to have to open the folder. Cup of Tea podcast, 78. There you go, the document. Here we go, then. Right, so today you have this episode, which is of a podcast, Cup of Tea podcast, 78. And then later today, you've also got a Harvest Moon episode called... That's wrong. Oh, I went to 78, didn't I? I'm on 79. I was going to say... Oh, dear. There we go, that's right. So today, we have an episode of podcast, 79. And then we also have an episode of Harvest Moon later today called Hoedown Showdown. If you've been watching the episodes, you know we did something with the hoe, and you can probably guess that something is going to happen in this episode related to what we did in the last episode. And by hoe, I do mean the tool. It's a harvest game. Just make that clear for everybody. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, we have another Prince of Persia episode. So far, I'm hating it, as I expected I would, but not as much as I thought, actually. I'm quite enjoying seeing what goes wrong and seeing how difficult it is. Like, it was annoying, as you'll see in this episode, but I think it was supposed to be annoying, if that makes sense. And then on Wednesday, we have 2 episodes of The Dark Cloud. One is called Loot Crates. Guess what we're doing in that. And then one's called Top Tier. Because top tier. And then what else we got? On Thursday, we have an episode of Prince of Persia. Sorry, I'm playing a game. Prince of Persia. It's called Snake Bites. Because snake bites, you know. Yeah. And then obviously on Friday, we have the last episode of the week of Harvest Moon called Last Spring. Guess what that is? You know what I'm saying. And then we've also got a Dark Cloud episode called Lunar Power, because I mistakenly tried to call it Solar Power when it's not Solar Power. But we'll see what that is on Friday. Saturday, we have 2 episodes of Dark Cloud as well. One's called Boarding Party, and the other one is called Pirate Party. And I've just realised both of them have party in the title. Great naming choices, JB. Great naming choices. Anyway, that's done. Anything else to talk about in topic? No, I suppose I can say that I have been quite, active with my stuff. Actually, I'll talk about that in goals. Never mind. I'll tell you what I meant by that in a second, if I remember. Let's get on to the book club then now. So I'm still reading The Last Wish Note, Sword of Destiny. That's the one. Loving it. I'm pretty much going to say the same now. I'm halfway through the book, so there's nothing really interesting to talk about just yet. Geralt of Rivia has just got rid of something in the plot points. So it's like a new sort of chapter and sort of like different tale of what was happening at the time when I read it last time, as in last week. But it's actually interesting because these games are all set. These books are all set before the games. Like the games were set after the books. So it's interesting to see all the different plot points that they're sort of setting up. Like some of the places I've sort of heard about, and I'm like, ooh, I did not know that about that place. I think Oxenfurt is one of them, which is quite interesting. But yeah, going good. This week, I think, to do with college, I'll have to read something called Of Mice and Men, so I might have something else to talk about in the next 2 weeks. Right, what else to talk about? It is a community section then. I should probably stop playing my game then. Start Cloud if you wanted to know. I am grinding. Right, Muncher Monday is the first part of the community section. The first name on the list is Horia, B-Man Ben, Anshelovich Nadzda, IlXXX Lupo, Dragonlord 55511, and 8-Ball Reaper. Thank you all for commenting. I really enjoyed your comments, specifically all of the comments, because 2 people are just amazing. This week's comment will sort of leak to this, and I'll have an honourable mention as well. Right, what else do we have then? We have... Is it Q&A? Q&A, we do. Right, B-Man Ben says, oh, and how do you drink your tea? What kind of tea do you drink? I like green tea with clover honey in it. I like PG Tips with milk, 2 sugars. Because, yeah. And I want to mention this before I read the next one. The next one's for B-Man Ben as well. And I like how different people have different ways of asking questions. Dragonlord 55511, he always says, hello, Sir JDTwoSixTwo, I have a question and a riddle for you. Nick Pro used to say, I have a question for you. B-Man Ben says, oh, puts O at the front of it. I just think this is crazy. I love it. I love how everyone's got their individual signature. I like it. And B-Man Ben asks the second question, says, I did want to ask, what is your favourite area in Dark Cloud? His is Queens, which is where we just got to in the actual Let's Play. My favourite area, I like... As we talk about the area, I won't talk about dungeons because that's different. I'll talk about the places you rebuild. Right. I like Nolan Village because it's the first one, so the game developers put a lot of effort into it, and I think you can see that in this game. There's lots of you feel like you want to make your mark on that area, whereas everything else you just think was like meh. I don't care where it goes. So I think Nolan for that reason. I like the sort of like the village sort of take of it with the thatched cottages as well. Takataka Village, meh. Queens, it's all right. It's a bit bland, a bit, everything you put together just looks the same. There's no sort of unique take on it. The next area you go to after that is quite good as well, actually. It's probably his second favourite. The one after that, I'm not going to say because it's a major spoiler, is just obviously generic. There's no creative freedom you can have with it, and that's it really. Oh, and of course on the last dungeon, that's just taking the mick really. The last dungeon, it's great. It's just no. I see what they're trying to do, but no. It's called town building for a reason. Right, that's answered your questions. Let's go on to Dragonlord 55511. My Lord of Dragons says, hello, Sir JD262. I have a question and a riddle for you. Question. Have you heard or seen any of the stand-ups of the Scottish comedian Billy Connolly? I have not seen any. I know of Billy Connolly. Billy Connolly. I have heard a lot about him. He was the dad from Brave. He was not. He was not in Highlander. That was Sean Connery. That's very similar but different. Yes, I know about him. Yeah, he's everywhere. Yeah, but yeah, definitely heard of him before. Okay, and then your question was... Yeah, your riddle, sorry. Your riddle was... Where is it? I can be half without getting thinner. I can shine with no fire. I can be hidden but never taken. I can stay dry while moving the ocean. What am I? Hint, it is a planet-like object that is the first astronauts landed on that turned Captain Barbossa and his crew into skeletons when the light shined upon them in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of Black Pearl, and has phases like half, full, quarter, and new. Well, it's obviously moon, but I would like to say, like, everything's fine, it's correct. But where did it say? It says, I can shine with no fire. Technically, if you're speaking scientifically, the moon would not shine if it was not for fire, because it gets its shine from the sun. It reflects the sun's light. The sun gives off light through fire. Therefore, that's not quite true, that. But I see what you're trying to say, yeah. You mean it as in it's not specifically fire itself. But yes, so it's fine. I just wanted to point that out. I do know some science. This is where someone tells me I'm wrong. Anyway, moving on, because I'm rambling. Let's go on to subscribers. We have +3 from last week. We had 1,101. No, 1,111. Now we've got up to 1,114. We have 2 names. We have Nintendo Wizard Games and Ipa Sorkin. So thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the community. Did I get that science fact right? Let me know, because I have no idea. Right, what's next? Question. We actually got some answers this week. Last week's question was about Dark Cloud. Do you have any tips or hints about the game that I need to know for when I do it? B-Man Ben says, God, yes, play the game. I wanted you to play it for so long. And I think you would really enjoy the game, and I would like you to play it blind, please. Well, it looks like I'm going to play it blind. I don't have time to play through the game before I do it, so I'm just going to have to do it blind. You know, I'm not so against blind games as I was. I mean, I was put off by the first Prince of Persia. I played that blind, didn't like it. But I've played other blind games since then, and it's been alright, so yeah, I will. I'll play it blind. Plus, I know a little bit about the game anyway, so it's not exactly it is technically blind, but it's not blind, because I know I'm going in with my eyes wide open. But yes, of course, help me out as well, guys, because I get stuck. And then Adzavelkovich Nerdster, also known as Nick Pro, says, Dark Chronicle all the way. Also, Dark Chronicle is my favourite game of all time, and you can't rename the ride pod or Max, so yeah, if you want to ask me anything about Georama, ask me. We'll probably get around with Georama when we do it. We'll get in there and we'll just sort of work through it. Be like what's that word? I'll have to try and work it out myself. But it sucks that you can't rename the ride pod or Max. That sucks. I want it to be like teen JD, grown up from boy JD. I want to name the ride pod something else, little Tommy maybe. But yeah, we'll work around that. But yeah, it sucks that you can't name things. But yeah, that's that question. This week's question is going to be, if you could make like a mini story using gaming level creators, say for example Little Big Planet, Minecraft is a big one. If you could make like a mini story using those games, like make it in that game, what would you make that story about, and how would you do it? Like, let me know, because I'm interested. It's very interesting for me to know. Let's go on then to this week's comment. This was a last minute entry. It wasn't going to be a horror comment, but it's a horror comment this week. Basically, we were having this conversation where we said about, I think it was in Seven Brothers Tea, the episode of Harvest Moon, we said about, I found a radioactive tea. That was his comment. And I said, that'll be something for Fallout. And then he replied with Nuka Tea. And in Fallout, there is something called Nuka-Cola. It's like the big sort of Fallout signature. That's my word of the week. So to say Nuka Tea, I'm going to use that in my Fallout Let's Play. I'm going to use that. I'm sorry, Horia, I'm stealing it. I'm giving you credit, I suppose, here, but I'm stealing that because that's just beautiful. I love it. I love stuff like that. And that is just why I like all of the comments you make. Another one, I'm pretty sure it was B-Man Ben. I apologise if it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was. B-Man Ben, we were talking about why Bruce III's axe goes from an axe to a hammer. And he just replied with the fact that it's because it's an axe. If you hit the floor with it thousands of times, it's bound to get flat. Oh, that's just beautiful. How beautiful is that observation? This is fantastic. I love it. So yeah, it was a runner-up as well this week, but that was the main one, the horror one, because it's beautiful. Right. Anime Club now. We're going out of the community section. I'm not sure if I told you I've finished 7 Deadly Sins. I think I did. But if I haven't, I have, and I loved it. So yeah. I'm trying to find a new thing to watch now, though. I'm busy, but I'm trying to find a new thing to watch. So if you've got any dub suggestions, yes, I know Horror wants me to watch something called Overlord, but it's only in sub. If I get a chance, I will try to. I love the concept of the game, where it's like you're from a game world. I love that concept, but I'll try and find time to watch it if I can. But it's the subs. I haven't got the time for subs. But I have recently. This surprises me, and this probably is the reason why I think my favourite anime is No Game No Life. I've been talking for so long, I'm sorry. Basically, I felt like watching it again because it's only a short series, it's only like 12 episodes. I decided to watch it again. I finished it in a day. It wasn't even a day, it was half a day. I started watching it at like 3. I finished it at like 12. I love that anime so much. It's just its art style. Yes, there's questionable themes. I'm the first person to say that. But apart from that, I love it. It's fantastic. So that's what's probably my favourite. And it actually inspired me, because I was doing this, watching it, and then I thought, ooh, do you know what? I would like to do a top 5 anime. I've only seen 5 anime. But I've liked, well, excluding Pokemon, Digimon, blah, blah, blah. But I might want to do that, because I might obviously, my couple of adventure video, I want to try and do sort of those sort of videos. I've done hauls and stuff, so I might want to do a top 5 anime, even though I've only seen 5, so that might be an interesting take on the video. But I might try and do that, so that's a little insight for you. Maybe in the future I might be doing that on that channel. So if you like anime, keep an eye on that channel. How long have I been going on for? I apologise for rambling. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. And also, I've seen these anime movies as well, which I really like the look of, and they look beautiful, but they're in sub, and again, sub, it's shorter than a whole series, it's only a film, it's only that 40-minute film, but it's something called To the Forest of Firefly Lights. It looks so beautiful. I've got Wednesday off. I'm not making a promise, but I'll try and watch probably an episode of Overlord for you, Horia, and an episode and the film To the Forest of the Firefly, because they look so good. There is a fandom of Forest of the Firefly though, so I might try and watch that. But yeah, they're just so good. Anyway, love it. Anyway, and the new feature this week, app addiction. Yes, I got addicted to an app. I've always made jokes about Candy Crush, and I started playing an app, and I got addicted to it. It's not Candy Crush, don't worry. But basically, before this, I've only played like basic ones. Like the main one I played was Fallout Shelter. But I found this other app from other people. It's very popular at the moment. It's called Best Fiends. I'm addicted. It's just, I just want to get everything. I love it so much. I'm addicted. Actually addicted. So that's why I wanted to mention this week, because that was quite cool. And I'm probably playing it next week. And it is a game, so technically it could be in this sort of like gaming/me podcast. And the other thing I'd got down was, and Atomic Games did some apps, and they got one called Outonauts. And I remember playing this when it was first released, and I've just played the app version. I played it on the computer last time, but the app version is so different, and it's so much worse. Mate, I'm going to play the one on the computer again, see if it's the same, but the one on the App Store is just so bad. Outonauts, that is. It's just so bad. Didn't like it. Anyway, let's go into goals then, shall we? So, last week's goals was to edit the video. Didn't do it. And it was to do a document or details. Didn't do any of it. Although, I'm recording this on the Sunday, so by the time this comes out on the Monday, I might have done them. Not sure, though. Probably not. Usually not. But I want to, so hopefully it will. So we'll find out. So if not, next week's goals is to do document or details. But if I've done that, I want to try and edit 2 videos and get 2 videos up. Which will be the 2 that I've missed. It's so funny, because I'm so bad at this. Anyway, that's it. It's a pretty long episode, but we've got an extra feature, so it's bound to be. Right, let's finish the cup of tea. I finished it. Anyway, that's it now. So until the next time we meet, farewell. I'll see you in the many different adventures that we're playing. But until then, I will leave you with what film? I am Merida, and I'll be shooting from my own hand.